Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Bricks Blazing Takes. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you here with me. I appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Let's get to it. SimWorld, what it do? Rick Blaze coming at you, another episode of Rick's Blazing Takes, giving you the ins and outs of what's happening in SimWorld. Let's get right to it. Again, this is dead week, blackout week. I don't know what they call it. Whatever they call it, whatever the media call it. I like to say the media as if I'm not part of it, but I am, but I'm not. We rather went over that. So there are some games that are going to be going on. Some big games going on this week, actually. The live games kickoff start back on Thursday. But before I get into part 2 of the rundown of the Inconsequential players rankings, I want to talk a little bit about these games upcoming. Since it's going to be a blackout, Black Week, Black Friday, whatever they calling it. So I do want to talk about them a little bit. So today we have some games. We have Philadelphia versus the Originators, Southeast Select ATLians, Gotham 5 versus the North, Indy Stripes versus Middle East, Lakeshore Drive versus H-Town Hoopers. But the game I really wish I could see tonight, Showtime versus Bay Area Breakers. Wow. Those two been battling out the entire season, those two teams. Yeah, that'd have been a really good game to see. All right. Wednesday's games. APAC versus Oceana, Queen City versus Gulf Coast, the North versus Run DMV, H-Town versus Heartland, Building Arch versus Latin America, and Raining Trades versus Gotham 5. I would have liked to have seen for Wednesday, H-Town versus Zombie Stars. Zombie Stars have become an exciting team. They've always been exciting because of the antics of their fans and the name and all of that, but they become even more exciting because they're starting to win now. So I guess I'm just giving you my game of the day for each one of those days. So for Tuesday, Showtime versus Bay Area will be a highlight game for me. On Wednesday, H-Town versus Zombieland will be a highlight game for me. And then on Thursday, we back to live broadcast so you guys can see the games themselves. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for those box scores for today and for tomorrow. All right. Now, on yesterday, I started with my top 10 through 6, the Inconsequential player rankings for next season. Again, they are inconsequential because they do not take into consideration the recruits that are currently not on teams. I don't know how good they are or will be based on their blacktop experiences, based on them beating on JoJo from down the street and Big John little brother who playing pickup ball. I can't give a valid look at these players because they're not playing organized ball in the SimWorld right now. So they don't qualify. Plus, we don't know what other players are going to be coming in next season as well. So it's inconsequential because there's a lot of moving parts that hasn't been worked out yet, but it's fun nevertheless. So just to give a recap on yesterday, number 10 was Jermaine Owens, J.O. Number 9 was Vince Magic. 8, Kyan Anthony. 7, Cole Webb. Cole Webb did also say he thought that was too low for him. Cole Webb, come on, man. You got to relax. I'm putting you at number 7. If I go look at the rankings, player rankings right now on ESPN and 24/7 and SimWorld TV, stop it. Cole Webb, don't get on. Hey, stop it. All right. At number 6, I had Nick Hugo. All right, now we get into my 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 players. At number 5, Kasim Porter Jr. I have gone on record. I've given him the highest comp of any player so far in SimWorld. I gave him a comp of Stephon Marbury. It's very hard to get a compliment of praise for me from that type of caliber of talent player. But that's what I see. So I can't give him a Stephon Marbury comp and I have him in the top 5. That'd be silly on my part. So I have him at number 5. Kasim Porter Jr. He has all the tools in the shed, so to speak. He's quick. He can be decisive with the ball. He can pass it. He can finish. He can shoot it. And if you see in the Discord, he got a little mouth on him too. So he has all the tools in the shed. So I got him at number 5. I think he's at a really good team. I think the coach of the team, Coach Drayton, is going to let him do his thing. And honestly, just a little bit unveiling behind the rope. That's why I'm going ahead and say it now. Levin Cutler's not in my top 5. Because I think, just my opinion, Coach Drayton haven't told me anything. I think he's going to lean towards the young bull, the young guards more next season, which is going to kind of cut into Cutler's productivity a little bit. It is what it is, right? All right. So he's at number 5. At number 4, Bernard James. He's found a really good spot in Indy. I don't see him leaving Indy. I think he'll be silly to leave Indy because he has a coach that's decided early on to give him the green light come hell or hot water. And damn it, that's exactly what came. Hell and hot water. But through it all, regardless of what we said, the media said, regardless of what other players said, regardless of what other coaches said, Coach Storm has rolled with Bernard James. And Bernard James has done his thing. So I think this is a perfect fit for Bernard and Coach Storm, assuming they both return. I don't know what kind of pieces they're going to go. I don't know what the team is going to look like next season, what kind of pieces they're going to subtract or add. Hint, hint. I don't know. But as long as Storm's giving him the green light like he's been giving him, my man going to probably be up there close to 20 points a game next season. So Bernard James at number 4 is where I have him. At number 3, I got the king, Arthur Lattimore. Arthur Lattimore at number 3. I don't have to go into details what my man's been doing this season. You see it. You see the tape. You see the points. You see how he get down. He has no love for you in that paint. He's very quick for a guy his size. I do have a comp for him. He has a Antonio McDyess like comp for me right now, but he can grow into a Larry Johnson type comp. I love me some Larry Johnson, right? So, yeah, he got all he if he gets a consistent jump shot, y'all in trouble. Y'all better hope he don't come back knocking down jumpers, like hitting jumpers for real. If he's doing that, y'all in trouble. This it's gonna be a wrap. All right. So I got King Arthur Lattimore at number 3. At number 2, Jafet Towns. Jafet Towns at number 2. My man does everything right. I got him like a Brandon Roy comp. He's not super athletic, but he's athletic enough, and he can get a shot off, gets a point stop. He can pass the ball. He can rebound a little bit. He does everything on the court for his team. I don't know what his team is gonna look like next season, but Jafet Towns, as long as he has the keys, he's driving. And at number one in the hood, for the not pointless. What do I call it? I forgot the name. Inconsequential player ranking. So you see how this is not edited at all? I just go with the flow. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake live. If I correct it, I correct it live. If I forget it, I forget live. At number 1, Trey Hyman. His talent is just as good as anyone else I mentioned. One of the main components and one of the main reasons I put him at number 1, though, is because his team, Bay Area Breakers, because of their current depth, they are probably best in position right now to be a factor again next season. These other teams, I don't know what you guys are going to look like next season. Hell, I don't know if all the players from Bay Area is going to stay. However, just the makeup of their team, they're already in position to compete very, very well next season. If they lose 2 or 3 starters, they got 2 or 3 guys on the bench that can step up and be starters right now next season. So I do value winning. I do, yes. So a lot of the time, somebody say Towns could be number 1, Arthur could be number 1. Cool, those things are all valid, right? Any of those top 3 players, I guess you could switch around if you wanted to. But I put him mostly at number 1, not only because of his talent, but because I think his team has a chance to also win next season. I value winning. I do. Some guys just like looking at pretty numbers and pretty stats. Those are cool. But when you got these empty stats, You scoring 20, 25 points a game, your team is losing, man. Come on, bro. So anyway, that's my list. Number 5, Kasim Porter Jr. Number 4, Bernard James. Number 3, The King, Arthur Lattimore. Number 2, Jafet Towns. And number 1 in the hood, G, Trey Hyman. See y'all boys tomorrow. Now, also, before I leave, I know people are going to get in the threads. They're going to have their opinions. That's cool. Get in the threads. Let me know if you agree. If you disagree, who you would take out, who would you leave. But remember this. If you're going to go back and forth with me, please have some proof. Have some facts. Have some kind of something that's going to, other than just your mouth carrying the load. That's not enough. All right, I'm out.